Tonight, we are taking you inside the CIA's top secret mind control program called MKUltra. The program, born in the Cold War, built on the idea that a human being could be bent, broken, or steered with the right drug, the right fear, the right push. But the CIA also made sure most of this would never be seen by the public, destroying most of the files. They were torn and burned just days before the head of the agency was fired by then-President Richard Nixon for refusing to help cover up Watergate. Beyond just mind control, declassified documents show the agency also chased a dark tool, discrediting, using drugs like LSD to make someone look insane, then watching the world turn on them. Sometimes the target was a single person. Sometimes the target was a world leader like Fidel Castro. Some of the plots so outlandish they sound like Hollywood until you see them in black and white. One man so committed to transparency on this, he has spent his entire career hunting down, declassifying, and newly analyzing thousands of documents to reconstruct what the public was never meant to see. Our brand new interview with Michael Evans of the National Security Archive was just released on the Truth of the Matter podcast. Take a listen to part of that new conversation.
They tried to hurt or kill Castro, for example.
Tell me more about that, because some of these methods just seem absolutely fantastical.
Well, there's an effort to they wanted to make an exploding seashell. Of course, Castro liked scuba diving. They tried to put botulinum toxin in his wetsuit, I think was the thing. At one point, they wanted to, and this gets to the sort of aerosols thing, although Olson was long gone at this point. They wanted to, while Castro was broadcasting one of his famously very long radio addresses to the country, they wanted to, inject aerosolized LSD into the studio to discredit him. And of course, they never figured out a way to do this. I don't think they really ever figured out a good way to aerosolize LSD or deliver it that way, in a clandestine way. But at the same time, there are instances where what they were trying to do with Castro, that is discredit him using these drugs, not kill necessarily, although there were assassination attempts as well. The discrediting is one of the things that they saw as a real use for LSD. And this is actually some creative thinking. And there's one memo, and they have a group of people. It's not clear. I think it seems to be maybe defectors from behind the Iron Curtain or something like that. And there's a group of people, and one of them is the leader. They take the leader aside, and they administer LSD in some way, in his coffee or whatever it was. And after an hour or so, he starts to, feel it and they give him enough that he started to act very strange. Put him back in the room with the followers, and everybody thought, what is wrong with this person that we used to follow? They're now crazy. They brought in a psychiatrist who was unwitting of what was happening, who declared him to be insane. And, they put the person away in a mental institution. These are the kinds, and this apparently did happen. There was a report.
And we're showing you some of the paper trail here that documents Evans worked to declassify on the top secret MKUltra program. To hear the full conversation, you can find the Truth of the Matter podcast. Use your phone to scan the QR code on your screen. Find it on NewsNation's YouTube page right now, or listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.